The best work schedule is 6 a.m. 2 p.m. It's early enough that you miss any traffic during your commute, but you can still have a regular social life. Getting off work at 2 means I can go to the gym, run errands, or do whatever, then have time to get food or drinks with friends when they get off at 5. I take my lunch at like 11:30, so I'm still on a normal eating schedule, and I enjoy only having a couple hours of work left after lunch. Plus, if you work a 9-5 somewhere with long winters, you hardly get any sunlight. 6 a.m. is way too early for my comfort. My perfect get-in fast, get-out early shift would be 7-3. I had a couple jobs that only had those hours open and I thought I would hate it, but after adjusting my sleep schedule, it truly is amazing being out on the road with few stops outside some traffic lights before I get on the highway. Heck, sometimes I get to work 15-30 minutes early where I can get a short nap in or play on my phone before heading in. The best work schedule is winning the Powerball and never working again. GIF Giphy D3 MLE 7 AX8 KFGMY. You could always go into medicine and work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 6 days a week, lol. Then have time to get food or drinks with friends when they get off at 5. Except by then I'd be thinking about getting ready for bed so I could get up early enough to be at work at 6. Depends on the person. I'm a night owl and have an incredibly hard time falling asleep before 11 p.m. I've worked a lot of 7 a.m. shifts and still was never able to adjust, so I was always sleep deprived. My ideal workday would be 11 a.m. 7 p.m. so I could sleep into a decent time but still have an hour or two in the morning for errands. What if you want to go to an event during the week? 7 p.m. hockey game or concert and your work schedule is fucked. I work 5:0 a.m. 1:30 p.m. I telework 4 out of 5 of my work days, so I'm just done at 1:30 p.m. And that is all me time until my wife gets home from work at 5 p.m. 9-5 doesn't exist anymore. It's 8-5. I would love it if my husband had this schedule instead of 11:30 am 10 p.m. 4 days a week with non-concurrent days off. 6-2 in the summer is tolerable, I guess. 6 a.m. in the winter is hell. Waking up at 4:30 a.m. in the freezing cold with another 2.5 hours of darkness to go is miserable. I have 9/80 schedule, 7 a.m. 4 p.m. every other Friday off. I'm okay with 7. Waking up a bit after 6 kind of sucks, cause I struggle getting myself to go to bed before 11:30 12:30, but I like to be off around 4 then later. This only works if you're a morning person. By 6 a.m. I'm only halfway into my night's sleep. I have tried being a morning person. I used to work at Starbucks and morning shifts were miserable. This is completely dependent on being able to be in bed, asleep at 9 p.m. That's not happening for a lot of people. I'm a night owl, so I would need 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. lol. Friends are fairly night owl too, but I'm also an introvert, so being alone with games at night is perfectly fine with me. Yeah, this really doesn't work if you're not a morning person. Doesn't matter what time I go to bed or how much sleep I've had, getting up before 7 a.m. feels like torture every time. Meanwhile, I get most of my energy between 4-8 p.m. If I worked 6-2, I'd be preparing for bed during the hours when my body is most alert. It's early enough that you miss any traffic during your commute. Not if everyone is going to work at the same time. I'm more of a night owl and my most productive times at work are when I can log in between 5 p.m. and midnight. If I worked 6 a.m. 2 p.m., I'd have like 4 productive hours of work. But if you're like me, you work 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and by the time you get home you're too exhausted to do anything at all, no time either. Been there, done that. It was fucking abysmal. I could barely find time to hang out with friends in the evening, the fact there is rarely sun in the morning to wake you up. It was isolating and depressing. For those who take a while to get ready and commute a considerable distance, they'd have to wake up at 4 a.m. for this work schedule. In order for them to have the minimum 8 hours of sleep, they'd have to be in bed by 8 p.m. Oh, and that long commute will make it so that they come home closer to 3. So, their free time hours are 3-8. Sorry to pop your bubble, but your ideal schedule is pretty crappy to a lot of people. 230 gang right here. Takes some getting used to, but once you get to a point of not wanting to go out on the weeknights, it's fantastic. No traffic on the way to work or from work. Plenty of time after to get some disc golfing or catch a movie on the weekdays after work, time to run errands, make doctor's appointments before they close. There's so many more upsides than downsides. Wrong, nothing should be open this early. No one should have to get out of bed until at least 10 a.m. I tend to agree with this. Although even more perfect is doing 4 10-hour days and having Fridays off. But there are downsides to that as well. MTH is basically just work, eat, commute and sleep. If you like to go to bed at 8 p.m., that's great, Grandpa. The best schedule I worked was noon 8:30 p.m. You don't have to get up early, but you're off early enough to still do social stuff after work, and you get in late enough that you can frequent businesses only open 9-5 before work. I only worked that schedule for 3 weeks during the training phase of a call center job I had, but I loved that schedule. Depends on how your internal clock operates. I'm working 6 till 2 as well, but I find I'm really sleepy after work. But no wonder I'm a night owl by nature, so bleg. I worked 6 too. I would need a nap after work, lol. I get up at 6 a.m. and refuse to get up earlier ever again. Seriously, I had to get up at 1:30 a.m., leave the house by 1:45, drive 1.5 hours, take a shuttle bus from the employee parking lot to my actual place of work, a large airport, and get to my actual assigned workplace by 3:30 a.m. Sure, I got off at noon, but I was exhausted and had to be asleep again by 7:30 p.m. in order to have the minimum rest before starting over again the next morning. Not the easiest thing to do, especially when the sun was still up. I'd prefer reverse. 12:00 a.m. 8:00 p.m. would be great. Get to sleep in and do everything you want to do before work. If you shift your work hours earlier, that just means you need to get to bed earlier, so aside from missing the traffic rush, you don't really have any extra hours in the day. I work 6-2, 530-130 in the height of the summer. I like it personally, but I know it's not for everyone. AG life. Counter proposal: the best work schedule is 12 a.m. 8 p.m. It's late enough so that morning traffic has passed, and late enough for evening traffic to have passed. You can still do the things like working out in the late evening and have a nice sleep at 12 p.m. or 1 a.m. 6 a.m.? I will literally beat you up. Wake me before 7 and it's your funeral, mister. God, I don't know which sounds worse, getting up before 10 a.m. or going to bed before midnight. They both sound like a sleep schedule for old people or babies. Found the annoying morning person. What are these mythical places that don't have traffic at 6 a.m.? Means you are getting up at 5. Good luck watching or attending any event after work. Found the morning person. I work 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. There is no such thing as a Monday morning for me. The best work schedule is being born into generational wealth, so you never have to. You can't have much of a social life if you're in bed at 8 p.m. every night.